Episode 69, The Healing Power of Forgiveness. Welcome to Longing for More, where Christians come to strengthen their faith, revive their soul, and learn to live their lives with a sense of fulfillment and peace. Listen each week to learn how to incorporate your faith into your daily activities, stop wandering through life feeling empty and unfulfilled, and begin to live your more. Let's get started. I talk a lot about the importance of letting go of things that no longer serve us in our life. Today, I'm going to go into that theme much deeper with my guest who survived the murder of a loved one and used that power of forgiveness to help her heal from that, and then turn that around and use that to help one of her clients to heal from a stroke. It's a powerful story, folks, and I hope you'll listen all the way to the end because it's just full of love and forgiveness. Hello, everyone. I am so excited. Today, I have a very dear friend of mine with me. I met her, a couple of years ago already, a little more than 2 years ago. And she will always be one of those people I will always remember our first time we met because we spent the day at the beach together that first trip. And if you've been following me very long, you know I love the beach. So anybody else that loves the beach is always going to be a kindred spirit. So today I'm excited to introduce to you my very dear friend, Martha Bass, and I am going to turn it over. And Martha, would you please introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you. And that day at the beach was magical. I want to say that was magical. And yes, my name is Martha Bass, and I am the author of the book Love Heals, along with Carol Bliss, Dr. Carol Bliss. And I am a life coach. And I specify on rewiring the brain because that's what we need. The brain, it's a powerful muscle / organ, and it has the power to create our bodies and our actions and everything that we do. So rewiring our brain creates a different habit. It just takes time along with God, but I just specify in rewiring the brain along with God, always with God.
Yeah.
But I love what I do. I love helping people and using the tools that I have learned because they helped me. It's been my experience, just helping others.
Yeah. So what does it look like before we got online? We talked a little bit, and you were talking about kind of the connection between our mind, our body, and our spirit.
Mm-hmm.
How does that all come together to help us rewire our brain?
Well, in my opinion, and what I have learned is that when we are in alignment, I like to use the word alignment. When we are in alignment with God, with our thoughts, with the food we eat, and with the choices we make, then we are able to create this miracle in our lives, okay? Little steps. And that all comes to taking 100% responsibility of where we are at.
Ooh.
Because we believe that blaming others, or it's easier, I want to say that it's easier for us to blame others, right? Our childhood, our the parents that raised us, or the country that we were born on. We want to blame all those circumstances to say it's okay where I'm at. And it's not our fault. Like it's not our fault if somebody raped us. It's not our fault if, like, my dad was kidnapped and murdered in Mexico. That's not my fault, correct? Like, so many things happen to us that are not our fault, that had a lot of impact in our life today. However, I do believe that it is a responsibility to create a different life regardless of what happens to us. It's not my fault if my husband cheated on me, let's just say, or that I made different decisions, and I shouldn't blame those things. I should take responsibility and create a different outcome. because I honestly believe that when we take 100% responsibility, then we give ourselves 100% of the power to change.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. In
Yeah.
fact, it's interesting you bring that up because I literally was just listening to James Wedmore, who is kind of my new mentor. He doesn't know about me yet.
But you know about him, and that's
Yes,
all it
but
matters.
I've been listening to him, and he is all about mindset and stuff. And he truly, was just today in what I was listening to talking about how we have to take responsibility.
Mm,
Even if we aren't responsible for, he was given the example of being in a car accident and somebody ran into us.
mhm,
Obviously, it's not our fault that they ran into us, but we could have left earlier and been on the road at a different time, or we could
mhm.
have, you could take that scenario and go any direction with it. But the reality is, even if we can't find a way that we can take responsibility for the actual event, we absolutely have to take responsibility for the way we respond to that event.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that alone gives us the power to make a different choice, gives us the power to have a better day.
Right.
I mean, yeah, create a different scenario in our lives. Like, I'm going to give you a sample. I had surgery 2 months. Oh my goodness, it's going to be 10 weeks ago already. And, it was a woman kind of surgery, something that I didn't plan, even though my doctor before said, you're going to have to have a surgery. You're going to have to have a surgery. And I'm like, yes, later, later, later. But I had to, right? So I got the surgery. I didn't plan it. Therefore, everything around was chaotic, if you want to call it like that, because my job and my household and all of that. And then I had an infection. So that would took a downfall because, uh, the healing process takes longer because you got to take care of the infection before even the body starts to heal. And I realized that the stress that I was into it created the infection, created everything that I was going through. Which, the people around me go, oh, well, maybe the doctor did this. The doctor didn't do anything. The doctor did the surgery the way he needed to, which I know and I trust. But it was my mind and all the stress that I was living that actually created all the chaotic moments that I was living. And it was until I made peace with the fact that I had surgery, I was going to stop working for a while, and I had to take care of my body in a different way, in a healthy way, and doing that, and stop blaming everybody else, that I allow my body to heal. When I actually took 100% responsibility of the situation that I am in, then I gave permission to my own body to do the healing the way it's supposed to be, if that makes sense.
It does. What it brings up for me, though, is the question, when we talk about taking 100% responsibility, there's a component that we haven't talked about yet, and that is, it came to me when you were talking about the stress and the impact on our body, and the fact that so many times the stress we have in our body is a function of not trusting God,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. We forget, I believe that when we trust God, it's trusting life, right? You're trusting life to unfold in a way that it's better for us. And when we resist it, that's when all these little issues come up because we're resisting. I have learned to not just trust God, but to talk to God.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I tell God, like, okay, if I'm not seeing something here, help me see it. Like, what is for me to learn in this situation? Like, is there anything for me to learn? Is there anything that I'm not paying attention to? Talk to me. And when we talk to God, God talks to us. Like, there's signs. And I'm not saying that you're actually going to hear a little voice, but I have I have feelings, and I just know, I don't know how to describe this, but I know, like, oh, I just have to do this. I have to do A, B, and C and follow through. And that's intuition. And intuition, it's you having a direct connection with God.
Yeah.
And the more we do it, the stronger it gets.
I totally agree with that. In fact, one of the we before again we got online, I talked about, I've been a Christian my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a believer my whole life, but it really wasn't until I retired from my previous career and became an entrepreneur, a business owner,
Mm-hmm.
and had to be responsible again for my own livelihood, and it was what I did was a direct impact on the income I did or didn't have coming in, and I just started relying more and more on God all the time. And one of the things that I do differently that I wished I would have done previously in my quote professional life was sitting down and almost literally having a meeting with God and saying, okay, what's the priority for today? What do you want
Yes.
to work on today?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I don't do it every day because I don't always get done what I was told one day, and it's kind of like, why ask God to do what He told me to yesterday? But yeah, to me, it's a partnership,
Mm-hmm.
and I think when we all get to the point where we realize that He wants to be involved in our lives at that level, and He will
Yes.
guide us, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
everything changes.
Yes. Yes. And literally, like, everything changes. Everything changes. And then we realize that first, we're not alone, okay? Because we are not alone. I honestly believe that God, Jesus Christ, lives within ourselves. Okay,
Absolutely.
therefore, we're never alone. And because we are part of God, therefore, we have all that we need to succeed within ourselves. We just have to learn to tap on it.
Yeah. The other thing that I think has been the lesson for me is success in God's eyes is different than success in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, I've been trying all of these things to have this successful business. And in fact, what I'm being provided is learning to have success in my relationships, my
Mm-hmm.
relationships with Jesus, my relationships with my family, and all these beautiful people that have been brought into my life because of my coaching world and all of that. But um, He's already provided everything I need to survive. I have a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful home. I have a warm bed. I have, family and food, and I'm not going to starve. I'm not even close to being worried about
Correct.
that. So
Correct.
he's kind of said, that's all taken care of. Now let's go do the important work that you're here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
I see that in what you're doing too. You're doing some really important work out there. Tell us about the book. How long has it been out? What's it about?
Oh, yes, I'm excited. It's it's been out for a year already, and it's in Amazon, and it's called Love Heals. You could also find it in Kindle and different, religious stores in California. But my the book came along because one of my main clients was with Dr. Carol Bliss, and she's a senior minister at my church. And she had a stroke. Okay. She had a stroke. She had a severe stroke, and they told her she was bedridden. She couldn't talk, how the speech impediment, and the right side of her body was completely numb. So we had to learn how to walk again, eat again, and I mean, everything again. 6 months after her stroke, when she went to the doctor, the neurologist said, that said, you're not going to heal anymore, because the way the body, when you have a stroke after 6 months, whatever healing that you got, that's it. You're probably going to heal a little bit, but it be very minimal. And I mean, that you just have to learn to live the way you are. And she came to me and she says, I need help. Would you work with me? Because I am a practitioner of the church, which is a spiritual counselor. So I started working with her. And in my mind, the doctor could tell you that you're not going to heal, and that's fine. I respect that. But if you have the faith in God and you do what it takes every single day, that it's not easy, you could create miracles in your body.
Right.
Right? So then we worked every single day. She became my main client for 8 months. And out of that, of the result of that, you can even tell that she had a stroke. She has still some little, speech issues, and there's numbness in her body, but she drives. There's the proof. We wrote the book together of our own healing experiences. She paddle boards. She's going to Italy next week by herself after 3 years of having the stroke.
Wow.
That's a miracle.
It
And,
is.
and it took a lot of time. So when my clients come to me, I do tell them, I don't have a magic pill, because we don't have a magic pill. I will guide you through the process, and I will help you do the work like I did on myself. However, it does take a daily work. It takes choice after choice after choice. And in the book, I also talk about my own healing process because of my father, being born and raised in Mexico and having my father kidnapped and murdered. That was a very, very drastic and ugly experience. And I don't know how else to put it, because it was very ugly. It was very, traumatic experience. I was only 15, and going through that in Mexico was traumatic. And then I did have a drug addiction, and the only way that I was able to get out of that was by putting God in my life and trusting the process. So helping people through those tools, just like I did with myself, you create miracles in your life. Like the book, who would have thought, oh, Martha's writing a book, right? With such an author, because she has written 6 books before this one. And once you take those actions and create choice by choice by choice, God literally puts everything in front of you for you to create a different life.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And I honestly did not know the story about your father and
Oh,
um,
okay.
yeah,
Yes.
so that is I'm sorry. And I can't imagine, when you talk about healing, that's not the kind of healing that we think about when we think of,
Mm-hmm.
but our emotions and our heart are so powerful and can be, that actually can be, yes, that can have an impact on so many parts of our lives.
Definitely. And that's why, I like to say, when we take 100% responsibility of our life, for me, it was easy to blame those people and have so much hate, because our whole life of my mom, my brother, and me just, changed completely, completely. And until I learned to forgive those people, and I'm not saying that I'm going to go and have a party with them, but you learn to forgive those people, then you release all that heavy luggage that we're carrying, and give yourself the permission to live a happier life, and make different choices, because you're not carrying with that grief and anger and wish that something will be different. And it did help me to forgive, and I do feel better now, and I bless them and let them go, because you got to send blessings. You bless them, you let them go, and you know that you do different, and whatever the reason that they had, that's up to them and up to God. I go on with my life with peace and love in my heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What a beautiful story. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that.
No, thank you for listening.
And I love how you were able to take that experience and translate that into your life of helping others through
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
experiences in
Yeah.
healing. Oh, I love it. So people can find the book on Amazon. Love.
Correct. And it's called Love Heals, with
Okay.
Martha Bass and Dr. Carol Bliss.
Okay. Well,
Mm-hmm.
we'll put that in the comments so people can
Perfect.
find that. One of the questions I always ask is, do you have a favorite saying or a favorite verse that you would like to share today?
Well, it is a saying, and it is that I am divinely guided and divinely protected.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I that has become my mantra, because if something's happening in my life that I don't like, and I remind myself that I am divinely protected and that I'm divinely guided, therefore that I know that even though it may not seem like it right now, eventually this shall pass, and because I am divinely protected and divinely guided. And one of the things that I like to say when I am in a dark place, out of this situation only good will come.
That was what I
Because
was thinking as I
yeah, out
exactly
of
what I was thinking.
out of this situation only good will come. Why? Because I'm divinely protected and I'm divinely guided. Therefore, it may not seem that way, but it always ends, being that way. Hmm.
Always. I can't think of a time when single college student got pregnant, lost a job. It doesn't matter what
Yeah.
things
Mm.
happen. The saying, and I've said this I think in other interviews, but it's so true. Things don't happen to us; they happen for us,
Okay.
and
I like that. They happen for us. Good.
it helps us
Yeah.
grow. It helps us become a better person. And so many times, like in your situation, when something happens for us,
Hmm.
that's an opportunity to be able to take that and turn around and help somebody else later with a similar
Yes.
experience.
Yes.
And we talked about it earlier again, but just how that's so important in our world today to remember that we're all connected and that we can help one another. And even if we don't agree on everything or if we don't believe in the same things,
Mm-hmm.
we still need to be kind. We still need to
Yes.
just be connected and show love
Hmm.
and grace, right?
Yes, love. Because God is so loving. I mean, all loving. So therefore, we could too.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, this has been really wonderful. I've really
Thank you.
enjoyed the
Thank you.
conversation. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our listeners today before we take off?
Well, just learn to love the place of where you are at. That way we free ourselves to create change.
Yeah,
Because if we're in that place that we hate our life, it becomes harder to create change. I'm not saying to just stay there, but learn to know that out of this situation only good will come, and allow God to guide you through the process and to take different actions. Yeah.
yeah, I really, really love that because my mantra is live your more. That's my
Mm-hmm.
message to the world. And that doesn't always mean a huge drastic change. It doesn't mean that you have to do like I did and completely transform your life from being in the business finance world to become
Yeah.
a coach.
Mm-hmm.
It means find wherever you are, find that place where you can serve and become the best you can be. Doesn't mean you'll be there forever. It means just take the opportunities that are in front of you now, and God will create other opportunities as you
Absolutely.
open,
Yeah.
right?
And to remember that when we're at peace with ourselves, we influence the people around us, the people that we love. So
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
I love it.
And hopefully this is not the only time we talk. It'll be great.
Oh gosh, no. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Bona.
I have enjoyed reconnecting and getting to know you a little better even.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. And I bless and send love to all of your listeners.
Oh, thank you. So there you have it, the healing power of forgiveness. I want to thank you so much for stopping by today. To find Martha, you can look for her at her website, marthascoaching.com. That's marthascoaching.com. You can also find her book, Love Heals, on Amazon. I'll put a link to both in the show notes. And then she's also on Facebook. So I just, again, want to thank you for stopping by today. If you felt that this was a message that could inspire someone or help someone who needs healing in your life, I ask that you please share that with them. As always, if you can't remember exactly where to find the podcast, you can always find links to it and my corresponding blog at vannajohnson.com vonajohnsson.com/podcast. That's vonajohnsson.com/podcast. Thank you so much for stopping by today. It's such a gift that you would spend your time with us. I want to wish you the best in the week ahead. Practice your gift of forgiveness and go, be blessed, and live your more.